So we finished recording for the day.
We have, yes.
Why the fuck are we still here?
Because we've got a very special announcement to make, Brad. We're starting a podcast.
So we're starting a podcast?
We are, yes, because I've been approached by a very nice company called Brew. And I know what everyone's currently thinking. Oh no, they've sold the fuck out. So I'm going to point out that Brew asked us to make this trailer and told us we can do whatever the fuck we want. And to prove that, in this officially endorsed thing by them, there's a beer, penis, fart, vagina, fuck. Right. Because, people might not know this, but if you've watched enough of our videos, you'll notice that we don't tend to play the YouTube game all that much, do we, Brad?
No.
If you watch our video, you'll see there's an ad at the start of every video, and then there are no plugs, not even for our own merch store. Check it out in the description below. Which we started 6 months ago, and people still ask us if it's a real thing. We don't we've been approached by all the big uns, Audible. I think Blue Apron got to us one time. What are all the other fuckers?
Loot Crate.
Yeah, Loot Crate reached out. All those companies have all reached out, and I've told them the same thing every time. Fuck off. And there's even a video on my own personal channel where you can see me go through an email exchange with Studio 71, who represents one of the biggest YouTubers in the business, where I basically tell them to fuck off the edge of my penis. This is the first company who's actually approached us where they've actually agreed to my not unreasonable terms, that are, in my opinion, but seems to be unreasonable by the standards of most of the people. So do you want to talk about those, Brad? You've known me for a very long time now, and you know what my opinion towards advertising and what the stipulations I put in place are.
Yeah, you've said on multiple occasions, the concept of advertising isn't actually, horrific.
No, and I understand why other YouTubers do it. Because I know, if you're in this game, you're in it to make money. Let's be real.
Yeah. But you don't like it when the companies aren't transparent.
No, I hate that. Yeah. And I hate industry jargon more than anything. And the initial deal I reached with Brew almost didn't come to fruition because I kept telling them, stop talking with jargon, just tell them what the fuck you want. I'm just as blunt as I am in my business emails as I am in my day-to-day dealings with other people. So that's probably why many companies have approached us, have just decided to give us a wide berth. When Brew reached out to me, one of the first things I asked them, as I often do, is, in this content, can I just drink and swear? And then, oh yeah, it's fine. You can drink as much as you want. The only thing we won't tolerate is hate speech and stuff that incites violence. I went, oh, so people being a dick. That sounds great. You know what? I'm glad that the first thing you as a company brought up is not being a fucking dick. I'm glad that you draw the line immediately. Your first thing is drink and swear as much as you want, just don't be a penis. I'm happy about that. My number one issue when it's all these sponsors that have approached us in the past is they want you to change the content. That's not happened with Brew because the only thing in the contracts, I read it and I passed it on to various people I know, experts and that sort of thing. And there was a line in this contract that said, I think, in legalese, basically, you, the contractor, i.e. me, have to, let your audience aware of new content and the Brew platform via all of your social media and various platforms that you control at the behest of us. And I went, no, fuck that. Because I like posting bullshit on Twitter. I like posting my Dragon Ball FighterZ combos on Twitter. I am not interrupting that to mention that I've got a new fucking podcast out. So, and this is what made me want to work with them. They said, okay, that's fine. And they went back and sent me a contract reworded to basically give me complete creative control to advertise this new podcast in any way that I choose. A clause that I like to refer to now as the Big Wangers clause. Because in addition to giving me carte blanche to advertise our podcast when it does get released and when it gets uploaded to the platform in any way I see fit, I also don't have to mention it in any videos. Because in the original, it's you've got to mention it in your videos. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Well, can you mention it in the first 5 seconds? I went, no, I'm not doing that either. And I thought that'd scare them off. Because usually I say, no, I'm not going to put Audible, when they put do a 30-second plug. And I went, yeah. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not interrupting the flow of content to plug something else. People watch these videos for the facts. They click it because there's an interesting title. They don't want to have their time interrupted by a 30-second plug in the middle of the video. They already get an ad right at the start, and that's how we make our money. And fair play to the people at Brew, they said, that's fine, and they wrote another clause into the contract which says, I can advertise it in any way I see fit in keeping with the tone of this channel, as long as I do so in good faith.
Yeah.
Which is basically legalese for I can do whatever the fuck I want. This deal wasn't reached because they offered me money. It was reached because they were the first people who've approached us in the entirety of the 2 years we've been making videos who actually agreed that, yeah, we're approaching you because we like your content. It'd be stupid for us to dictate how that content is made. So yeah, like there will be a link to what I don't even know what the link to the website is. That's the thing.
There will be one in the video.
There will be one in the video when they get to me and tell me what it is. But I think we have to point out it's a subscription service, isn't it? So, and that's the thing. That's why this is a separate video that's going to be uploaded, not during the week.
Yeah.
This will be uploaded on Saturday or Sunday, because I don't want people to, it's not going to replace a regular Fact Fiend video, much in the same way that we're not going to interrupt regular Fact Fiend content to plug this fucking thing. But I think it's $5 a month, and I understand $5, that's money, that's a meal, that's food, that's that's going to an event with your friends and family. Don't spend it on us. I don't give a fuck. And I know that someone in their office is really getting pissed off.
Someone like that is watching this like, oh.
This is the trailer to advertise, and I'm saying don't buy it. So if you like the content we put out, and you think that a podcast by us would be something you'd be interested in, and you have $5 to spare, by all means, go do it. Because we're planning to make some good stuff for it. So we should probably talk about that.
Yeah.
And the idea is, let's just chat a load of shit while getting drunk. They asked me, what content are you going to do? And I think in the actual email I said, probably just get drunk and talk about facts. And that's fine. We will do that. And as well, they told me, you've got to make it 30 minutes long is an ideal episode length. No, fuck that. It's going to be an hour and a half long. I want people who pay to listen to me to get their fucking money's worth. So the idea that I've had is that it's going to be me as the host. I'm going to bring on various guests like Brad. And they're going to talk about facts that they find interesting. We're just going to riff on them for an hour, half an hour with booze. Because there's got to be booze, and I've been told that I can drink. So you know what? If I've been told that I can drink at work, I'm going to fucking drink at work.
To be honest, it sounds like... Because I remember you going through this with me, and I was thinking to myself, there's got to be a
catch.
Because it sounds like, with all the people we've dealt with, I don't think anyone's been as accommodating.
Yes, and you'll be able to see that in the edited version of the email exchange that Brad's going to post. I was incredulous to believe that this was a thing. So the one thing I've been told not to do when making this trailer is to reveal how much we're being paid. And I don't like that because I want you, our audience, to know how much any sponsor, even though this is the first one, thinks your time is worth. So I will personally be paid $500 per episode that gets accepted. And chances are you're either watching this as an actual trailer for our podcast on Brew, or they told us to cut this out. And this is now on my channel after the deal fell through. With how accommodating they've been, I'm hoping they understand why I've done this. Because transparency is immensely important to me. Because nothing pisses me off more than when you see YouTubers and they do ads for stuff they clearly don't believe in. Fair enough, you're doing an advert, some bullshit product. But how much did you get paid? I want to know that. I want to know, one, how much your dignity is worth. And two, how much you think your audience's time is worth.
The one that gets me is people on Patreon who will hide the amount they're earning per month.
Because they know if people realise how much they're getting per month, they might not sign up as a Patreon.
Yeah.
And in fact, we did have a Patreon for a while, and do you know what we did? We shut it down, we started earning enough money. And also as well, anyone who appears on the podcast as a guest will be paid a fair, wage and will be compensated for their time, even if it doesn't go up or get accepted by Brew, because I'm that way inclined. Also, all beer will be provided by me. It's you know what? Any excuse to drink with my mates. I'm really hoping that this does get set to now because, genuinely, the one thing I was told not to do when making this video is reveal how much we're going to be paid. I will happily take that hit to the wallet if it means that I'm being honest with my audience. Because, Brad, you can confirm, how much money have I personally cost you by turning down sponsors in the past? Because we can reveal, we have been offered literally thousands of dollars to plug things we don't agree with, gambling sites and stuff like that. Where they've offered me me personally a one-time payout of so many thousands plus extra stuff depending on how many people come to the visit their site, and I've told them no. We put a single skippable ad at the start of every video we release, and I think that's enough. But if we wanted to, we could put 40 different ads throughout each video with one at the end, and they could all be unskippable. I want people watching to know that our first and primary concern when making content is the content itself. And judging by the look on Brad's face, he is really, really questioning throwing his lot in with me when he realises that I will actively turn down $500 per week because I want to be honest with people I don't fucking know on the internet. I would rather live a simpler life that allows me to, like, you know, feel proud of the content I make instead of just feeling like it's something I do for a job.
Without you, I think I'd have sold out years ago. Mm-hmm. You've kept me on the straight and narrow.
I've tried to, yeah, but time will tell, depending on whether people at Brew like this trailer. Because they asked me to make a trailer.
This isn't a trailer.
They sent me, like, here's, like, you know, an example of what a trailer for the thing should look like. And it's someone sat, well, I'm not going to name names, but it's someone sat at a desk with, like, a camera pointed at their face, and they've got the white wall behind them with the white shelf with all the nerd shit on the shelf, because I'm just like you. And they start going, "Hi guys, I've got some great news." And they read through the sheet, like basically the email I got sent. I went, "Okay, ignore." Because, like, fun fact, I was supposed to announce this last week, and I forgot because I was drunk.
This is a terrible trailer.
You know what? It's either the terrible trailer or the best trailer. Because I bet no one else put this much effort into their fucking trailer. They sat down in front of a camera for a minute and read out the press release. What have we done, Brad? We got props. I got dressed up all nice. We bought a new light. Look at this. Look at this piece of shit thing we got. The thing is, though, we've not even used the green screen. Put some shit behind me.
I was going to put their logo behind.
Do they have a logo?
I assume
I am really
so.
bad at this. I've not looked it up.
You were a terrible person to invest in.
But at the same time, though, are people watching this not interested? Like, with everything we've said, because this is what, like, Brad said to me when I mentioned to him, like, "Oh, cool, I've been approached by a company." He said, "What did this company do to get you to work with them?" Given that I have revealed that I have turned down every single sponsorship offer we have ever had, including companies who work with The Rock and every major advertiser who advertise on every other fucking YouTube channel. And the answer is, they said, "Karl, you can drink, and also we'll put a clause in the contract specifically for you that we call the Big Wangers clause."
I think all we can say, like, to fans of Fact Fiend
Yes.
who are watching this now, the ultimate advert for this company and for the podcast that we're going to be putting out.
Yeah, the thing is, though, we've not even mentioned the name of it. Do you know why?
Why?
I've not thought of it yet.
Anyway, the ultimate advert for this service is the fact that the man stood before you
The most stubborn motherfucker in the
has
world.
actually said yes.
Yeah. And do you know why that is, Brad?
Why?
It's the first company out of every fucker who's approached us who's admitted, yeah, we want you to be you, like, on the platform, so you can be you in the advertising for it. And I can see it in your eyes and you're thinking, "Oh God, Karl's going to fuck this up. He's fucked it up. We're not going to get paid. He's all going to go through. He's going to go on his channel and he's going to get the money for it because it's not part of the Fact Fiend thing."
The second you were like, "They told me not to do this thing, but I've done it anyway," I was like, "Well, there goes
You
the
know what
money."
that's like when Rage Against the Machine got the Christmas #1 in the UK. Do you ever hear about this?
I know that they got the number one.
Fun fact, Americans, in the UK, one of our Christmas #1 one year was Rage Against the Machines Won't Do What You Tell Me. And the BBC, like, it's tradition for them to play, like, you know, the song live on the radio. And the BBC went to, like, I think it's, is it Zach De La Rocha, or whatever the fuck the guy, like, the lead singer is, and told him, like, "Look, this is, like, you know, it's the Christmas #1, sing it live, but can you please not say the words, 'Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me'? Please censor those lyrics." And you know what? Irony was invented for that moment, because do you know what Zach De La Rocha did? He self-censored until the very last line when he's waiting to say, "Fuck you, I won't do it." And that, you know what? I respect that. I'm hoping this is, like, you know, this has been made with the same type of energy. Because I'm hoping that they will agree with me that our audience are more likely to support this new endeavour we're going on, because we've been 100% honest with them about what it entailed and what's involved and what we're being paid for it. So yeah, that was a trailer for a podcast we're going to do. But in a trailer app before. Also, it's the people at Brew are watching this to review it about whether it's acceptable.
If they made it this far.
If it fits the standards of your channel. I'm genuinely really looking forward to working with you. Because you're the first company who's reached out to us as creatives and told us to just keep doing what has made us popular in the first place, which is whatever the fuck we want. So I hope that we can work together and we have a long and fruitful relationship where I have a podcast per week where I talk about a load of bullshit. And if not, hi to the people on my own channel who are watching this after we uploaded it after the deal fell through. I hope you enjoyed this glimpse into how I am actively fucking over my own future.
So that seemed like it was the end. But as people who've looked at the timestamp may have noticed, there's another few minutes left.
There is, yes.
Because
we always like to give people a little bit extra when we do videos like this.
I think we need to give people a taste of what the podcast could be like.
Okay, yeah.
So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to cut the video out.
Yes.
So it's just the audio.
Okay, thing is, what I suggest is closing the tab on YouTube and listening to it, but apparently you can't do that unless you pay for YouTube Premium, so fuck that. So Brad's going to cut out the visuals, and if you really want to get the full experience, turn your laptop round. Yeah. There we go.
I'll put headphones on so it's like you're listening to it.
Yeah, and we're going to talk in our podcast voices about, I guess, whatever Brad's going to bring up now.
Well, I think you suggested a good idea for maybe the first one is the full story of how Fact Fiend began.
Yeah, so that is a question we get asked a lot, isn't it? So, how did Fact Fiend begin? Because if I recall, it started in a pub. But you've told me before that no, it actually started on a walk home from an athletic endeavour. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like me.
Well, what I remember is that it was one of the first times me and you had gone climbing together. And we were walking back, and you were telling me about how an article you'd written for Today I Found Out had been turned into a video.
Oh,
and that video had been basically earned thousands.
Yes.
And you'd been paid the grand total of £100.
Yes. No, $100.
$100.
I get paid in dollars for all the articles I write for other websites. But yeah. That was the Monopoly video, which is what happens when you land on free parking in Monopoly. Because that was a question that was sent in by a fan.
What does happen?
Nothing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for your wealth of facts, Mr. Smallwood.
The thing is, a lot of people make that joke of oh yeah, you can answer this question in one word, nothing. But what I did is I researched and found out, the company who puts out Monopoly also get asked that question all the time. People ring up mid-argument with family members asking, what happens when you land on free parking? Because my mum is yelling at me and it's Christmas fucking Day, even though it's written in the rules.
Who was working in the Monopoly office on Christmas Day?
They leave messages. It's similar, Joe, we talked about how...
The Flintstones.
Yeah, people used to ring up Hanna-Barbera Studios going, what does Barney Rubble do? And they'd ring up one super high. But that video went... I think it was the first video that went viral for Today I Found Out, and is one of the reasons that channel now has 1.6 million subscribers.
How many do we have again?
We have 350,000 at time of speaking. But what I recall is that got millions and millions of views, and they were getting 50,000 subscribers a day. And we popped it into Social Blade, didn't we? Which is a website that it tells you a rough estimate of how much this video made from advertising alone. And we thought, it's made a couple of £1,000. And I went, it'd be really nice if instead of $100, I got that money. And I thought, well, I wrote that article, and then some chucklefuck, who I later found out was called Simon Whistler, read it out, and he probably got paid more than I did when I made it. So I said, Brad, I have got this website called Fact Fiend that I do fuck all with, that I own everything on, and I've got all the rights to it. Let's just turn that into a video, site. And we had the agreement, didn't we, where if it didn't make money after a year, we'd both sack it off. And almost a year to the day we started the channel, the Hot Fuzz video went super viral. And it's the one I'm holding the I Love Kids mug. And I still get emails about that now. Going, why are you holding a mug that says I Love Kids? It was a gift from a fan who's a friend. I'm happy that, the origins of this thing that is now my job started with a conversation where I just went, you know what, I'm really fucking annoyed that someone else made money off my shit. And you went, you know what, Karl, let's fix that.
Yeah.
And you weren't being serious, but I was. And now I rope you into it, and now it's your job. Now you're my employee.
Oh man, it's got to be one of the best decisions I think I've ever made.
And it was made off the cuff, just like everything else we've done with the channel. Oh. And if you'd like to know more or hear the rest of this conversation, you can subscribe to our... The thing is, I don't know what the mechanics of subscribing on Brew entails, because I didn't actually ask. So when I said, what do you want me to do for the trailer? They just said mention Brew. And
this is the perfect way to send people to their website.
Yeah,
go to the website and find out.
Find out where I am on it. And if I'm not on it, complain to their Twitter profile. Say, why is Karl not on your thing? He did an advert for you. No, I don't actually know, but yeah, subscribe to us on Brew or just follow us on everything else.
Didn't the Brew people say they were fans?
They did, yeah.
So I hope they even if they don't want to go in after you've basically just fucked over what they asked, I hope that they enjoyed that little story about how the channel started.
And the thing is that What I'm hoping is that we, like, as bad as it sounds, that we don't get picked up, just so people get pissed off about not hearing the rest of that story.
You know, the entire comment section until you turn it off will just be full. Just be full of people just going on, just like, what happened next? What actually happened? How do you get around to film the first video? What's that Donald Trump clip you filmed that Brad's never revealed? What about that first Christopher Lee video that Brad's never shown anyone that he still has?
What about the one you did where you didn't actually make any jokes and it was terrible?
That was the Christopher Lee one.
Oh, God, that was so horrendous.
Or the one where you walk out with no underwear on that I never show anyone.
Yeah, because...
Or the one where you have your foot up like a teacher and start shouting at the camera.
Yeah.
That's still somewhere.
Oh, God, we tried all that shit.
I remember cutting the first one together and showing you, and I was really irritated when you first went...
It's shit.
You watched 10 seconds of it and went... I really don't like it. And
Yeah.
I was like, I just did the entire thing.
You spent 6 hours. But you know what, Brad? I think I made up for it by the fact that you can now say, I edited together this clip that's now on Karl's personal YouTube channel after his podcast deal fell apart.